Nah, bitches. Just got off the floor. Fuck around with this, fuck around with that, you know the story. But I've been watching things unfold. I have been watching certain opinions being tossed back and forth as it pertains to the newest news topics of the day, the month, the year, the hour. You call it what you want. And you can create whatever illusion you want to create for yourself if that's what gets you through the night. As far as where the country sits as it pertains to different sides of a coin, different realities, if you will, different thought processes, if you will, different views, different perspectives, you know, whatever it might be. You know, you really can't watch the media if you're under the impression that you're going to hear both sides from any media source. If you're under the impression you're going to hear some type of unity between different party affiliations, whether that be a liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, call it what you want. Because, you know, that's the way this country works. You know, there are always third parties, and there's always going to be different ways to look at things. And I can deal with that. I have no problem with any form of discussion like that. That's what's the big deal? That's the basis of democracy, is debate. But one of the big things about debate is I voice my opinion, you voice your opinion. A couple things will happen. Maybe I'll make you go like this. Huh, I never thought about that. Let me think about that. Let me snoop around a little bit. I'll get back in touch, but, you know, and then you're able to speak whatever. And if whomever I'm speaking to says something that sort of makes me go, what? Huh, I've never thought about that. You know what? Give me a sec to really digest that for a second and rattle it around. And, we'll continue this in a little bit. And then, basically what you do is you get on, maybe you switch subjects, and you get on to whatever it is, or perhaps if you're moving something or whatever, somebody has an idea how to move it this way, somebody else has another idea how to move it that way, which way is better, which way is worse. The way that's the best is the way that's the best for you. However, sometimes the best for you isn't exactly the perfect way. Or is there a perfect way? Once again, that's your way. But I will say this. I've been involved with spinal cord injury research for over 12 years. And and I am still conflicted. I'm still conflicted in exactly what they do in research, and why, and what they're looking for, and why, and how that's going to do whatever it's going to do for whoever it's going to do, whatever it is for whatever it may be. Now, I think that some of the things going on with research, I don't quite understand, but that's okay. Because what you don't understand, then in turn you can learn. But I will say that I haven't learned very much. I haven't learned a lot. I have more questions than I do answers. But that's okay. Because someday I'll have someone be able to answer said questions. Or at least explain why that question exists. Why do you think that way? Okay. I'm open for debate. Not a problem. No problem whatsoever. Other things that seem to have been a little bit more divisional. There's a movie by Stanley Kubrick, who is the director, called 2001: Space Odyssey. And in the very beginning of it, there's a watering hole, and there's a set of, I guess, pre-human creatures. These little ape critters are running around, and they're by the watering hole, the only watering hole in the area. And they seem to have made, put their stake down at mine, mine, mine. Well, lo and behold, they're over there maxing out. Now, what the fuck? Motherfucker. Hold on for a second. Alright, what was I talking about? Oh, the beginning of Space 2001. And lo and behold, there's another tribe of these prehistoric monkey creature human things. And they decide to knock the shit out of the other guys and put them out of the way. That's the beginning of tribalism. Tribalism has been around since day fucking one. You're over there, I'm over here. Two different tribes. I mean, they talk about American Indians. You ever notice American Indians are broken up into about 12 billion tribes? Do you realize that everything, and one of the things we're trying to get away from is that simple skin color has now divided people. Ethnicities now divided people. We're trying to cure that. We have heights. We have widths. Mental intellect, IQ, everything is divisional. Or is it? I'll be back, I gotta take care of something. Yeah, so as much as you don't really want to say that there's differences, there's always gonna be differences. There's always gonna be differences. There's a situation, right now, anybody that makes more than fucking 50 cents or some shit is now an elitist, or who are the true elitists? Is there financial class differences? Yeah, I guess so. But I'll be motherfucked if you can actually show me someone just because they've somehow figured out how to make money or something like that, which obviously it's a difficult thing. But some of their head does whatever it is, and they seize opportunities that others decide not to seize, and bingo, next thing you know, they have more fucking shaleckis than you do. They have more greenbacks, they have more ducats, they have more do-re-mi. You can make that a distinction, a division, or whatever you want. One second. Alright, what else? What else separates people? What differences? There's one massive difference right now that seems to have taken a lot of heat over the years. Boys and girls. I mean, if there were no differences, why wouldn't they just be called all people? Unless, it seems to me that everybody wants to be known as just all people. But we're not all people. There are some guys and some girls. It is what it is. Some have buns, some have wieners. It is what it is. And if there were truly no differences, why are they called two different things? Right now there's a big debate globally, nationally, city, county, state, country, world. There is a cancer going on, at least the way I see it, with sexual division and gender identity. And I will say once again, if there has to be, if everybody's going to be the same, we should all be called the same. However, if you're using terms like cis this or cis that, or trans this or trans, that in and of itself, just the verbiage, is separatory. There is a separation simply by the virtue of terminology. I didn't make it up. Fucking hell, you can't throw a rock around here anymore without hearing some of this bullshit. Regardless, we'll be back. Finally had an opportunity to get up, get back outside. Because there's been a difference in temperature. 3 weeks ago, it was 15, 20 degrees every day. Today it's 70. Climate change happens every year, right around springtime. Go figure. But we're painting today. Well, sealing. Because there's a difference between paint and sealer. It's that time of year again, boys and girls. St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner. Don't worry. There's no difference on St. Patrick's Day. Everybody's fucking Irish. Just that day, though. You're not lucky enough to be Irish all the time. So we were talking about the differences between sexes. And yes, they are real. As I said, if there were no differences, there would be no difference in terminology. All the verbiage would be all the same. But there is. And, you know, the one thing that sort of cracks me up about the difference, especially as it comes to, you know, the transgenders in sports and things of that nature, or wherever. Well, you know, the big discrepancy is that, you know, there are men posing as women, and they still want to play sports, so then they in turn decide to play women's sports. And for some unknown reason, they fucking dominate. Why would that be? Same thing, right? Same thing. No, there's not. It's not. It's not the same. You can deal with that however you want. I will give you my summation. Think about this for a sec. Nobody gives a shit. All right? And the reason I say nobody gives a shit up until something affects them. Then all of a sudden it's a problem. But when things don't affect people, what would the problem be? No harm, no foul. The problem is, there is harm and there is foul. There's a reason that Title IX came about. Title IX. Title IX is a landmark federal civil rights law in the United States that was enacted as part of the Education Amendments of 1972. It prohibits sex-based discrimination in any schools or any other education program that receive funding from the federal government. Title IX says nothing about gender identity, and it was intended to protect and enable women. Was for a distinction between men and women and rights and things of that nature. You know, there is... Sorry, it just is what it is. You can like it, you can not like it, doesn't matter. And the other thing that sort of fucking pisses me to fuck off, and it's just fucking annoying, is that for a subgroup, only because it's not mainstream. It's not everybody. So you have a few trying to tell the many what to do and how to do it because that's just what they believe is good. Well, guess what? You can fucking believe whatever you want. Doesn't make it true. Lead is lead and gold is gold. If there were no differences between anything, everything would all be the same. There would be no race difference. There would be no ethnic difference. There would be no differences. None. But here we are, and there are. And there has been since day fucking one. You know, when the little protozoas were running around, yeah, you're right. There was really no difference. Oh, wait a minute. Even at that point in time, there were differences. There's always going to be differences. And if you want to assimilate properly and not sit there and pound your fucking fist and scream and yell at the top of your fucking lungs about the fact that we should be able to do this or we should be able to do that. Yeah, you should. And you can. There's a solution. Transgender sports. Fuck it. You're a boy who thinks you're a girl? Go play over there. You're a girl, you think you're a boy? Go play over there. See how it works out. The one thing that always cracks me up is that with the transgender thing, and as far as when it comes to competition and stuff like that, it only seems to go one way effectively. Is when guys that want to be girls play in girl sports. And they fucking obliviate everyone. But you never hear about it going in the opposite direction. Where a woman who decides that she's a man, then in turn enters either whatever event, and she dominates. I'm not saying that women aren't good at shit. They are very good at shit. They do what they do, and guys do what they do. And that's okay. Differences are okay. You know, you'll hear the term, diversity is our strength. Okay. We get a little bit from column A. We get a little bit from column B. We get a little bit from wherever the fuck you want a little bit from. That's cool. No problem. It's variety. It's choice. No problem. I'm all for that shit. You know, but I'm sorry. But let's say you're having a salad and you reach for something. You think it's vinegar and oil or whatever you decide to put on your salad. All right? And yeah, woo, this is cool. But somehow you mistook it for, I don't know, dishwashing detergent. Is that the same? Methinks not. And on that note, happy St. Patrick's Day, bitches. Peace out. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot. And it's not a thing about truly about differences, what have you, but there's been a new branch of government created called the Department of Government Efficiency. I have a problem in thinking that people would argue with this. Only because, what the fuck? Who in the right mind doesn't want to find fraud? Who in the right mind doesn't want to find waste in their own household? Financially. If you believe that your money is being wasted on something, what do? You stop doing that. So you can find something that you want to apply that money to. Happens every day in every house across the fucking world. Maybe some places it's money, maybe some places it's fucking chickens. Some places goats and fucking sheep or whatever the fuck it might be. It's waste is waste. That's why they call it waste. And if your money is going to something you find completely, totally fucking jerk off stupid, and you're good with that, have that make sense to me. Please. By all means. Out.